from Afford Law. At Afford Law, we practice criminal and family law throughout Massachusetts. Our fees are based on a sliding scale based on your income. So the less you pay, the less you make, the less you pay. Easy for me to say. Today's episode, we're going to be discussing motions to dismiss in a criminal case. Okay, so you're charged with a crime. You think that the Commonwealth cannot prove their case. So you want to try to knock out those charges and have them dismissed. But of course, you probably need an attorney for that, and you're wondering if you can afford one. Well, now you can. At Afford Law, as I said, we offer all of our fees based on your income. So the less you make, the less you have to pay. And it's very important to have an experienced criminal defense attorney in your corner when you're facing charges. So let's take a look at motions to dismiss. And today, specifically, the motion to dismiss is the type called Benedetto Motion, also known as a four corners motion. It's called Benedetto because that's the, the case where this comes from, where the rule comes from, where you can ask for such things as a motion to dismiss. And it's called a four corners motion because everything the judge is going to look at is contained within the four corners of the police report, basically. Anything that the clerk magistrate could have been looking at when he or she determined that there was probable cause for a criminal complaint issue against you. Typically, that is the police report. There can be additional documents such as handwritten statements from witnesses and so forth. Those are attached to the police report. And what you're doing, what your defense attorney is doing when they file a motion, a Benedetto motion on your behalf, is they're asking the judge to take a look at the police report, look at the charge that you're facing, and they're saying that the charge is not supported by the facts in the police report. So basically, we're saying, Your Honor, even if you take all of the facts that are contained in the police report in the light most favorable to the Commonwealth, so that means the best case scenario for the Commonwealth, we believe that there is not probable cause to believe that they can prove their case against my client. Okay, so that's basically what a Benedetto motion is. You can have an argument. There are no witnesses. No witnesses are called, and nothing outside of the police report is considered except case law. So your attorney and the Commonwealth can do legal research to come up with case law supporting their side. So we would have case law supporting why we believe our case should be dismissed, and the Commonwealth can come up with case law as far as asking the judge to deny the motion to dismiss. So basically, the judge is looking at the at the police report and trying to decide if indeed there's probable cause and if it's possible for the Commonwealth to support their decision to go forward on this case. Okay, so let's say in a recent case that I had, there was someone that was charged with failure to return evidence in a case. And what it was is there's a case that we're working on about a gentleman did not return a rental car to the rental car company. Eventually, he was charged with, among other things, theft of a motor vehicle. Our position is it's not a theft of a motor vehicle. He had no intent to permanently deprive that person of it. It was just he was a little late in paying the most recent installment payment for the rental payment for the week or the month. And he was in negotiations with this rental company to get that paid. He had the money. He just needed to make arrangements for that. They didn't wait for that. They called the police and he was arrested. On top of that charge, on top of the charge specifically about the motor vehicle, he was also charged with failure to return evidence. And our position, which is a very serious crime, it's a felony. And our position was, even if everything is absolutely correct in the police report, even if we don't dispute any of the issues or the facts that are presented, it still doesn't support that particular charge, because that particular charge is really aimed at if somebody is convicted, if a person is convicted of a crime, let's say, for instance, that I'm convicted of a crime of stealing a computer from Best Buy. So I get convicted of it. I still have the computer. The police and the prosecution say, give back the computer, and I refuse to do so. In that case, that's what that charge is for. Okay, so if you refuse after being convicted of the charge, if you refuse to return the evidence, the item that's in question, you can be charged with that very serious felony charge. In this case, that's not the case at all, because our client was not convicted of anything. It's an open case. It's ongoing. So we were able to get that case dismissed on this De Benedetto standard, because it's just the facts don't support that charge. So it's a very important step in the criminal justice process to have a motion to dismiss, a De Benedetto motion. And the thing is, there's really no downside for the defendant. If you lose, you're in no worse shape than you were when if you hadn't filed it. So basically, it's really just yet another step, another chance for us to knock out a charge. That could be a single count complaint, which means there's only one charge in it. You get that charge dismissed, the case is over, it's dismissed, everything's done, and you can move on with your life. If it's one of many charges, then you can whittle that down so your case is now a little less complicated, and your attorneys can focus on the defense of the charges that are remaining. So a De Benedetto motion and hearing is very important, and they're oftentimes not successful, to be quite honest, because not much has to be shown. The prosecution doesn't have to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt as they do at trial. At this stage, it's a much lower standard, and it's oftentimes easy for them to make their case. If it's a factual issue, they always say, well, Your Honor, that's a matter for the jury to decide. That's a factual issue. Let the jury decide that. And that's true if it is a factual issue. So you can't dispute whether so if a victim says, he hit me, and we say, no, he didn't hit that person, that's a factual dispute. That's up to the jury. Because if you look in the four corners, there is probable cause to support that claim, because you have an alleged victim saying that he or she was struck by the defendant. So again, it's very important, and it's a great tool for us, the defense, to help protect your rights when you're facing criminal charges in Massachusetts. So De Benedetto motions, keep that in mind. You may want to have that in your arsenal. As I said, at Afford Law, we practice criminal and family law throughout Massachusetts. We do so at a reduced rate. Our fees are based on your income, so the less you make, the less you pay. We are working hard to give voice to the hardworking men and women of Massachusetts. At Afford Law, we're making justice affordable. Thank you.